Hey everybody, welcome to Popping Around Home Paintball Live. Yeah, I hope you don't notice, but I have a new camera. I actually have two new cameras, but I like this one because this gives you more feel for what I'm doing. Now, the issue with this one is it gets just a little too much light, so I'm just kill that for a second. But yeah, I've been playing around with some new cameras, and I think we're gonna have some much cooler shows going into the future, because the cameras are allowing me to do different things. So I'm excited about that. So I've been playing with those a little bit, what little time I had, but I've had the opportunity to do some work over the last couple of days, little side jobs here and there, which money is always good, right? I'm having a hard time getting used to the camera being over there. So anyway, sorry about that. So, yeah, welcome to the show. This is a fake it till you make it show, which means, wait a second, wait for it. Boom, fake it till you make it. So basically, we're going to talk about whatever I want to talk about, unless you guys talk to me, in which case we may talk about what you want to talk about. I don't know. But yeah, so I got to give a couple shout outs before we get really rolling. Not that we're rolling too much because fake it till you make it. But first and foremost, I have to give a shout out to my good friend Fred Schultz and his show, the Mr. Fred and Friends. And it's on every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, which I believe equates to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I believe that's it. But I have, yeah, him and I have been doing a lot of stuff together, and we're about to start doing a little more stuff together. Yeah. So yeah, but I have to give a shout out to him and thank him for the help. And I had a good time on his show the other night. I tend to poke in on his show on a fairly regular basis. Okay, so somebody says you got this, Steve, but it says Facebook user. So if you go and you look and it says enable look above the post, you get the option to click on it. It says enable Facebook to see who you are, and that way I can let people like, hey, party people, sorry. That way we can see who you are, like Neb here, who just says hi. So yeah, so I want to think about that, and I have to give a quick shout out as well to Vulcan. I don't know if you all heard, but Vulcan came on and became a full-time sponsor of the show. Yes, that makes it easier for me to bring this show to you, and that's going to give me the chance to make better quality shows as well. And Bob Digga, well, you're just a test, but this test worked. So there you go. And then we've got hi, Steve. Bob Digga is sitting behind me. Yeah, I don't need to know about your kinky habits there, Mark. Anyway, that's awesome. And we got a good evening from Matt. Good evening to you as well, Matt. And best paintball made in South Korea. I have absolutely no idea, but I love the barbecue. So, yeah, that is what it is. All right. So I don't know what you guys think, but what do you guys think of this camera angle? You get to see more me. Yeah. Is this working? Is this not working? What do you guys think? So I don't know. I like how it kind of shows off what's on my laptop a little bit. You get to see my room a little bit more. But I really like having these lights on. So it kind of bleeds it out a little bit, makes it a little much. But yeah, I'm really kind of digging this angle. And okay, so we got Rob Walker. You are wearing an unfamiliar shirt. What is that? Well, this is a shirt, and it is a prototype shirt, same as the hat's a prototype, for a new business called Stronghold. And that is something that Fred Schultz and I have teamed up together, and so expect to see more. But yeah, if you guys want a shirt similar to this, make sure you post up and make sure that you see it, or make sure that people see it, so that You know, if you want something that actually says OGAF, yeah, but so OGAF, and then you can't really tell from this camera, but this says passion drives us. And I think that's a pretty accurate description of Fred Schultz and I. So we're pretty excited about that. Somebody says, oh, Matt says, I dig it. The comments are coming in so fast. I'm having a hard time. So somebody says seeing more of Steve is pretty amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I like the Millennium Falcon. I like the Millennium Falcon too, which is why it's there. Rob Walker, what is it you need? The Millennium Falcon? We all need the Millennium Falcon. So, yeah. All right. So I'm actually going to switch this over for a bit because I want you guys to see the other camera that I've worked on. Because you remember what an old show used to look like. Boom. How does that look? I'm really digging this as well. So this is actually takes the camera off my laptop, and I'm actually moving it more to that. And I like how the color fills out. And so I have to find some software that gives me the opportunity to adjust cameras so that I can switch from one to the other and the lighting looks the same. Because just switching from one camera to the other, well, it is great, but I haven't changed actually any color. So it's kind of funny to see how this camera looks in comparison to the other one. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about how it all looks. So we'll switch over to this camera for a while, and we'll switch over to the other one a little bit later. And soft, intimate lighting. Actually, I wonder if my Millennium Falcon still has power, because if it does, wait a second. There. Now the engine's lighting up. Actually, I wonder. No, it's not working. But anyway, that's not the point. The engine's lighting up. So actually, you can see it better if you do this. How awesome is that? Anyway, I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Yeah, that Millennium Falcon is actually a Bluetooth speaker. So I can hook it up to my laptop or my cell phone or whatever. It'll play music. I can conference call with it, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it's always been sitting below down here, but just nobody could ever see it. So when I changed the cameras up, I had the ability to put the Falcon over on top of the light. So yeah. So those are my two cameras. What are you guys thinking about that? I know we haven't actually talked about paintball yet, and that's a bad thing on a paintball podcast because that's sort of the driving force of why I made this podcast in the first place, because I just wanted to make sure that when people were talking on a paintball show, we talked about paintball things. But because it's a fake it till you make it, and because I have new cameras and I'm showing off, I really wanted to just show it. And so something redacted said cool. Nice. So, yeah. All right. So we have some cool things to talk about before we get really rolling. First and foremost, I am a little disappointed to report, and I don't know if you guys saw the post earlier, but the Hawaiian Legends, or Dreaded Legends, has been canceled for Valentine's Day this year. And I'm guessing it's because of the COVID, which sucks, but it is what it is. I can't say I'm entirely surprised, just very, very disappointed, because honestly, I was really looking forward to playing it this year. I had the opportunity. So I was talking with a couple people, and it looked like I was going to get the opportunity to actually fly to Hawaii to play some paintball. And that was pretty exciting. But unfortunately, it got canceled. So that's disappointing. And speaking of the COVID and stuff, I am actually very, very surprised that World Cup is still a go. Not only is it a go, as of yesterday, I'm officially playing Cup. I mean, I played Chicago NXL, which was absolutely amazing, but I've never actually played at the World Cup. And to the opportunity to just actually pick up a marker. Now I'm only playing 3-man and I'm playing D5, which is not exactly superstar material, I must admit, but I don't care. I'm picking up a gun, I'm shooting it at World Cup. Sorry, I'm picking up a marker. Picking up a marker, shooting it at World Cup. And if by some miracle we win, I am rocking that ring to the day I die. Because if they don't make rings, I'm having one made that literally says World Cup, because it's World Cup. I don't care what division you play, as long as you get there and you play, it's awesome. All right, so we have questions here. Okay, so Rob Walker first. So Fred Schultz has really come back, and you mentioned you are in business with him. Please explain a bit if you can. Yes, Fred Schultz has really come back, and we have created a small company, and we're going to try to bring out some cool attitude wear and just little things to start. We have, yeah, there's so much that we've got planned and that we want to do, but we haven't gotten around, like baby steps, because we're starting from nothing here, and we really want to bring back a 90s feel paintball company. So yeah, that's that. And now we've got, it doesn't matter, we're playing World Cup. And have you ever played any of the skirmish big games? No, I have not. Oh, I got a message here. And I have somebody that wants to join me. So give me a second here. Let me just copy this, switch over. And there we go. So anyway, sorry about that. I just had to send out an invite because somebody wants to join in. All right. So have you ever been to a skirmish big game? No, I've actually really want to try a skirmish big game at some point in the very near future. But when you live in a different country, jumping from one place to the other, it gets to be challenging. It really does. So yeah. And then, okay, so what do we got here? Got to make people kiss the ring. Yes, you do. Okay, so what's this? If they tell you to go to the bug on your bunker, just say no this time. Yeah, you know what? When you're playing on a team and you do what the team requires of you, it's only 3-man, so I'm probably going to the God bunker because I'm just not the fastest guy on the planet. But and shooting, but when you're talking 3-man, and we got a guy that's running up front that's pretty quick, so we should do pretty good. Either way, it's going to be fun. And all right, so we've got, how was the big game you went to this last weekend? Excuse me. Well, the big game was really good. I was at Wasaga Beach, and it was called Frosty's Revenge, and it was postponed from middle of summer. And so it was a mini big game because it was capped at 200 people. And it was a lot of fun. There was rain, there was snow, there was hail, there was driving winds, and there was a whole lot of paintball players that loved the sport and just wanted to have a great time. So we made it a great time. So yeah, I love that. All right, so we've got by 90s, do you mean quality? Yes, to agree. And by the way, forgive me if I'm scratching my nose a little bit, guys. It's not a little bit of the sniffy. But I've been outside crawling under trailers all day repairing plumbing. And so my nose has got the itches like crazy. So yeah. So anyway, by do I mean quality? Yes to quality, but also more so the attitude. A lot of new companies are doing things the new way, and we'd really like to start doing things a little bit more old school, a little bit more having fun. We want you to know who the owners are, and we want you to respect the owners, and we want you to be involved. And not only that, we want you to know that we care about you. So we're just players just like you. So it's not going to be a big company. We're not taking on GI Sports, and we're not taking on Vulcan. We're not taking anything like that. We're just a couple guys that love the sport and want to contribute to the sport and have fun doing it. And we want you guys all to have fun with us. So that is the whole point. So, all right, what else we got here? All right, so we've got somebody calling me a paint maggot. Thanks a lot, Neb. And dude, I'm sure you'll kick some ass. I hope so. And spiders, webs, and dirty dust. Pretty much. And okay, so speaking, all right. And Rob Walker says a couple guys supporting the players. Exactly. Actually, let me bring somebody on and see if he can expand upon that a little bit. My man.
Good evening, Stephen. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Everybody's bombing me on my shirt.
Great shirt. I wanted to say that right off the top, man. That's fantastic looking.
Yeah. Hey, I think your shirt looks pretty good too.
Yeah, I kind of. I just I was sitting in my living room watching a football game, and all of a sudden, just some way I heard my name mentioned, and I started thinking, oh my gosh, Stronghold. I heard the word Stronghold, so I had to come running in here and pop in to see what was going on, because Stronghold is going to be something pretty special, I believe, in the future.
Well, I hope so. Everybody's been asking me what is it about, and I said it's just two players that really love the sport, and we want to get more back more to a 90s mentality of players being able to approach the owners and the owners being able to approach the players, and just more of cohesive. We're not going to be competing with GI Sports or anything like that. We're just going to be small, cool guys. Well, you're obviously cool, yeah. But I mean, I shouldn't call myself cool, but you're cool.
Oh, you're
I'm cool by default.
You're cool.
Go ahead.
We're small now, but we're not going to stay small. I hope to eventually bring us up. But you're absolutely right. We're not doing this to ruffle anybody's feathers. Period. No. I mean, you and I are going to have our own products, but we're also still going to push other people's products.
Absolutely.
Because the whole thing to me, the reason I got back in is to Rob Walker. How you doing, buddy? I mean, when these people jump on like this, Steve, it just
yeah.
I can't tell you how cool it is. And Mr. Nella, yeah, or Mr. Quarantine. I don't know which one it is, but I love it. Matt, right on, buddy, right on. You got a lot of people watch your show, Steve. That's pretty cool.
I do, and I'm really excited about it. And I've got a bunch of people that are actually watching on YouTube, which that blows my mind. I'm not telling people how to watch. Any way you want to enjoy the show the way you can.
Right.
But I personally make sure that this show gets broadcast on YouTube, because I really want people to be able to kick back on the couch, turn it on up on the big screen, and just make me larger than life, baby.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Yeah, I see you got that other shirt on. And let me show people this one here.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see it there. Anyhow, but Steve thought this up. And when he told me passion drives us, it's like, boom, man, that's just about as cool, because passion does drive us.
It really does.
Yeah. Well, what the heck are we doing this for,
I can tell you it's not the money, because I've been doing this for 2 years. I get paid nothing. So it's got to be passion.
And you're still overpaid.
Thanks a lot.
Just kidding. No.
All right. Somebody says they smell maple syrup. I'm betting that's Bill Bailey.
I was going to say Mr. William Bailey must be watching. That would be a good guess.
Normally his face he shows up as a what do you call it?
I don't know. I think he sent cards out, something about bacon and maple syrup and Steve McGuire. I think I got one of the cards in the mail that said if I ever watch, I'm supposed to get a hold of Steve and mention maple syrup and bacon. Not why, I don't have a clue. I'm just saying that might be a possibility.
So just so everybody knows, by the way, this is a fake it till you make it show. Like, so if anybody wants to join in, you're more than welcome. Just send me a request and I'll click in a couple people. I got room for a couple guests. I can make space. And so, yeah. By the way, that reminds me, Fred.
Yes,
and because we've only got 14 people watching, I want to show you something here. So I'm just gonna, because you've been doing a lot of really cool things with your show, Mr. Fred and Friends. Memorize this for a second, and let me get rid of that. So I've been playing with some stuff, and I created a background for you. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't, you don't. But you see how my backgrounds got fade? Well,
Yep.
I made you something that's smoke.
Oh, very cool.
So in case you want to give that a try. So I've done that. And then if you want,
just for everybody out there, Steve is constantly doing cool things on his computer. Freddie linked me up to get me going, and Steve's kind of taking it to the next level for me right now, which any level above 0 is good for me.
So this is something I actually want to test. So I'm going to thank you all, and Fred, I'm going to show you as well. But I'm still teasing you about changing the name of your show. I'm not. You don't have to. But check this out.
I like it.
Now we'll have to move we'll have to move that. But I've got the Constant Pursuit show because I really think
see that.
But I modified. I found a font and I modified it, and then I keep it nice and small. Now you're not sponsored by Ultra Silk, I know, and you're not sponsored, but I know you support the All Remembered Foundation.
Well, yes, I support them, and I definitely support Ultra Silk too. Yeah, absolutely. And I am sponsored by Immortal Air.
Yes, unfortunately, it gets hidden here, so I have to change that. So this is just an experimental.
It looks great, and I love the Stronghold logo.
That right?
Logo is cool. I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it myself. Actually, you know what I ought to do? So I switch back to my podcast for a bit. So let me just switch back it over here.
No problem. I hope everybody out there doesn't mind me jumping in like this.
No, if anybody cares, they can leave.
Yeah, we'll see you. No.
All right. So what do we got here? We got we've got it's him. Okay, so what's the skinny on those markers, Mr. Fred?
The skinny is on these. This one right here is my mag that when I played professional paintball, this is the last one I played with, period. This one right here, which I absolutely love, this is the number 13 marker made by Airgun Designs and given to me by Tom Kay, and that is the number 1 mini system, Fred Schultz air system from back in the day, which was called Air America, which is now Immortal Air. So that's what the mags are. And let me see here. Get it up here. This is my first. This is a marker I played my very first tournament with. This is my Bushmaster. On the back of it, you can see I've got Glenn Palmer's Quicksilver, which totally changed the game. And what was funny is I was just talking to one of my old players in Hong Kong just a few minutes ago, and his name is Derek Ling, and I'm going to actually have him on my show next week from Hong Kong.
Cool.
Yeah, and he's a great guy, and he was telling me, he goes, I still have my original 6-pack that I used to play with, and I just texted him back, and I says, I was talking to Steve McGuire, and I showed Steve my 6-pack, and then he teased me about putting it on a cheap gun, but it is what it is.
Do you have it handy? Because all my guests are going to make fun of you. And if they don't... All right, so if you all can see this, he stuck an actual 6-pack changer on a Brass Eagle. What is that? A Brass Eagle, what is that? A Stingray? I think it's called not a Talon.
No, it's not a Talon. It is
not Tiger Shark.
Tiger Shark. That's exactly what it is. And you know what? This Tiger Shark has never been fired. It's brand spanking new.
There's a reason for that. No, truthfully,
and now it starts.
No, truthfully, those are actually Nell Spot based guns, and they actually shoot really, really well. And okay, so we got somebody here that says, "I'm digging the Bushmaster."
Right on. Let me see if I can get this guy down.
And Christian Hancock is going Immortal Air, woot, which is always cool.
There's the Talon.
Yeah, that's a Talon. My buddy and I actually took one of those, and we mated autococker parts to it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You know the tape I put out. It started out the fun at paintball, and it was had nothing to do whatsoever with Brass Eagle.
Right.
And Brass Eagle picked it up, and we went in and rebooted it a little bit so we could put the Brass Eagle stuff in. And we sold almost 1 million copies of that. So, and you know what I liked about Brass Eagle? Everybody laughed about Brass Eagle, but what Brass Eagle did is it gave a lot of kids a chance to go try paintball on the cheap, because how many kids, especially back in the day, could go out and spend $400, $500, $600 for a marker?
Right.
No way,
No, no.
but they would get these for presents because they were sold in all the stores, Kmart's, Walmart's, just everywhere you walk in, and they were everywhere.
Right.
And so, you have to give Brass Eagle credit for what they, and me doing it too, because I took a lot of heat. I was a pro player, one of the first pro players ever, and played pro for a lot of years. And when I put that out, I had all kinds of guys coming to me going, "Oh man, that kind of hokey." And I told them, I says, "You know what?" I says, "First of all, I'll see you on the field and we'll see who's hokey." And I says, "Second of all, that is not made for you. That's made to bring people into the sport. If you're the only person in a sport and you and your buddy, then you really don't have a sport. You've got nothing. You need to have people into it." And I got to salute Brass Eagle for doing that. I really do.
Absolutely. I actually managed a field called Phaser Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Phaser Zone actually was pretty experimental. They had vests that had radios in them, and they had impact sensors.
Oh,
and
wow.
what you did, you actually shot rubber balls that glowed under blue light. And so we had this whole room, and the whole thing was all black lights.
Oh, wow.
And so when you shot these paintballs at each other, they weren't paintballs. They were just like solid rubber balls. It was like lasers. It was like living in Star Wars. I kid you not. It was the coolest. Cool. It was the coolest thing ever. But they were having a really hard time doing it because they couldn't get these paintballs to field. We literally had to soak them in silicone like every night just so that paintballs could slippery. Yeah. So like, it just because they would stick, they would hang up. They just weren't working very well, and they were trying to get it to work in a semi-auto, and they couldn't do it. I said, "Listen, buy me a bunch of Tiger Sharks." And so we had 50 Tiger Sharks because you had to get the velocity down, because if it shot over they're solid rubber balls, so you had to get the velocity down to like 150.
Wow.
Because anything faster than that would hurt people. And because it was going so low, we couldn't get most paintball guns to cycle. So I drilled out the power tubes in the Tiger Sharks, and so we had those going. So we had a bunch of them, and I have to be honest, I loved horsing around with the Tiger Sharks. It's just a basic Nelson pump. Like if you take it apart, that's all Nelson based. Yep. It's incredibly simple, and it's light and it's fun. But yeah. You know what? Anybody actually replies that to me, I'm going to deny that I said I like Tiger Sharks.
Yeah, it was a good entry level marker, man.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, same way with the Talon, entry levels. And I just, like I say, my hats were off to Brass Eagle for doing that.
Oh yeah,
they were, and people cannot believe. I've got a video out. If you watch the Fun of Paintball, I actually walked through their factory. I was at the Brass Eagle factory many times. They'd fly me back in there probably 3-4 times a year, and we'd have meetings and stuff. And they were huge. Let me tell you. Sean Hampton. Helping. Yeah. You didn't miss anything. Me and old Steve here, we talk a lot, Steve and I. We don't say much, but we do talk a lot.
That reminds me, Sean, I'm going to change the subject incredibly for a second. Actually, get a little personal for a moment with Sean and I. Sean, I've been talking to this kid named Dylan. He's 15 years old, and he's out in your neck of the woods in Ontario, and he's looking to get into tournament paintball. So when you get a chance when I'm off the air, reach out to me. I want to introduce you to this Dylan kid, and maybe you can take him under his wing and teach him a little bit. He's had a rough go of things, and I'm going to help this kid how much I can, wherever I can, however I can. So please reach out to me after the show. Don't let me forget, because I want to introduce you to this kid named Dylan. So yeah, sorry. And I return you all back to our regular scheduled program.
Very, very good. And that's pretty cool. You did that. That's why everybody out there that, I'm sure we don't have a lot of viewers right now, but you know what happens is a lot of people, they tune in tomorrow. Same way at my show, I get a few viewers when I do it at night, but then the next day it increases because people get a chance to watch it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the reason I hooked up with Steve and a lot of the guests that I bring on my show is they're just so passionate about paintball, just like it says on the shirt here.
Yep.
And and people that are passionate about it, they actually help make the sport grow. If you talk to somebody and you get them excited about your sport, they're going to want to go try it. If you're a downer, I don't want. I talk to anybody and it brings me down. First of all, I don't talk to them anymore, and
Right.
and second of all, I don't go try what they're trying to sell me.
Right. So somebody just said Bobby's in the chat. Let me see if I can. I'm going to send him an invite because you probably haven't seen Bobby for like forever.
Bobby who?
Bobby Doust.
Been a while.
Yes, it has. All right, Bob. So if you have the opportunity and you're near a camera, I've sent you a link. Don't hesitate to jump on and say hi. You're more than welcome to join us. But Bobby Doust from Constant Pursuit back in the 90s.
Yep.
So send him out a real.
Yeah, so you're getting to play your first World Cup, huh?
I am.
Oh, big time! Right on. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. You heard though that they canceled Hawaii, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I heard that. And I just funny too because I just talked to my friends in Hawaii today. They gave me a call and asked me when I was coming over, and I told them I said, "Well, now I don't know." So
yeah,
that kind of sucks. And I'm really surprised that the World Cup is still going. I'm surprised they don't jump all over that too.
I'm pretty stunned about it myself, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely not. Tommy Cole. Everybody. Yeah. Tom puts a lot of effort into that, and
the rest of us call us Mr. Cole. You call him Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. We, everybody. I go back so far. When I go back, all of these guys, they were just starting playing pros. That's how I met all these guys. And yeah, I'm very, very, very privileged when it comes to knowing the manufacturers, knowing the professional players who've been around, Rennick Miller, all of these guys. I just I feel very privileged about that. And a lot of the new people that I've got to meet, Steve being one, Steve and I just talked to him for a few times and things just kind of, they did good. I'll say they went north. They didn't go south, and I'm looking forward to doing some great things with him next year. We're still ramping up our stuff, but it seems to be crawling along.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, by the way, I'm going to change the subject here for just a second. I don't know if you've seen this or not yet, but this is the other camera angle. What do you think, Fred?
Love it.
The lighting's a little bad because for whatever reason you can set the color up for one camera, but the lighting for the other one doesn't work. But what do you think of that angle? Seeing as how you're a professional podcaster and videographer,
pretty good. I mean, I love it especially if you're showing something and you want to show your whole body. But the other camera, when it's directed on you specifically, I kind of like that. Then I feel like I'm actually looking at you,
right?
Straight. Yeah, there you go. Like face to face instead of just looking at you from your side. It's more personal when you're talking like this stuff.
I agree, and I think that it gets a much cleaner image. I just wish I could set it up so that the lighting affects each other the same, so I could just switch back and forth.
Well, that's just something you got to put together,
Oh, I know me. I will figure it out.
Oh, I know you will.
Just give me time.
Nice cameras.
They are great cameras, aren't they? I'm very lucky to have them. For those of you who don't know, Fred Schultz was playing with cameras and he let me have his leftovers. And here we are.
And you know what? He deserves them because, the guy's done more with them in 10 minutes than I've done in a few months I've had the damn things. So, hey, when you got a hold of me and you started showing me how you were switching the views and stuff like that, I got so jealous, man. I gotta tell you. I've got probably another 4 cameras lying around here.
Well, fly me out to Cali.
And you know that?
You know what? Since we're not fly me out to Cali. I'll come hang out with you in January or February, whatnot, and we'll set it up. We can do like a double show. Speaking of double shows, you and I are doing something big in December.
Very, very cool. And Steve, people are going to want to chime in for that. And I'll tell you why. Is because Steve and I, should I tell him or you want to tell him?
You be my guest.
Thank you, sir. We're going to do a Christmas show, a 2-hour special. And this is something that we started working on, I guess, just the other day. Steve has already got just a great banner put up. I mean, the guy is quick, smooth. I love working with him. And anyhow, we're going to have some great people on. We're going to have live guests, but we're also going to have cameo shots from the biggest people in the industry, wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas, because, that's what we want. Yes. We've all gone through such a crap year with this COVID thing. Such great paintball. I thank God that some of the fields are going and the stores are still selling things. But, a lot more could happen without the COVID thing. There's absolutely... Yes. You should do a Secret Santa. I am the Secret Santa. I'm built for it. and we are dyeing Steve's beard gray, so it's all going to work out.
No, I like my skunk stripe just the way it is.
So anyhow, if you get a chance, you want to tune in for that, because I personally, not just because Steve and I are doing it, I think it's going to be just terrific. And we're going to have all the notables in paintball, manufacturers, great players, everything. We're going to have them just do little cameo shots throughout. So you're going to be able to see an awful lot of great people, a lot of them that actually helped build this sport.
Yes. And some of them are just getting into it. And this is something that paintball has never done. I mean, I would love for it to be a huge success, and that way we can do it year after year. Do you know what I mean?
It will be a huge success.
I'd really like to see something completely different. Yeah. So the night before Christmas.
Oh, no,
the night before. Yeah, the 23rd. So that's the night before Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah. So Fred and I aren't going to have our own show going. We're going to do one combined show. So,
and it's going to be great. Like I say, that's why we're advertising it now. We're going to get just a ton of people watching it, and it's going to bring our paintball community together. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have everybody chime in, watch that show, and see people that you've known in the past, see people that you've never met, and hear them, and just everybody in the sport. Because the more we get together, the faster this sport's going to keep on growing, period.
Right.
And I know what I'm talking about, because I started at the beginning doing this, and I worked very, very hard for a lot of years promoting this sport.
Absolutely.
And that's what Steve and I are doing right now, along with Freddie Valente. I'm going to have Freddie on, and William Bailey. People get a kick out of William Bailey and Kevin Donaldson. And you're just going to love it. You're going to want to watch it. Am I right, Steve?
Absolutely. And I should also point out, we're calling it a Christmas special because that's what it is. But if you want to jump on and wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, or whatever your particular,
absolutely,
whatever your season's greasing, happy holiday, whatever it's going to be, if you guys want to jump on it, you're all included. We're calling it a Christmas special, but you know what? It's not just Christmas. It's
for everybody.
It's for absolutely everybody.
That's just like our shows. We always try to be inclusive for our shows.
Absolutely.
If you're good for the sport, baby, you're on. If you're bad for the sport, I don't
click.
Know.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Good night.
There you go. One less Christmas card. Big deal. I got to tell you, I'm excited about doing it, Steve. And I really appreciate you letting me jump on here tonight with you too.
Oh, you're always welcome. And this is a fake it till you make it so. So I'm not letting you. You're saving me.
No. If I wasn't on, you'd still be talking to all kinds of people.
Well,
there's no doubt about
yes,
it. So,
but
yeah, I enjoy it, and especially you and I are starting to do things together. So I guess. People, I guess, we just told everybody just the other day, you and I've been working on this for a month or two, but
whatever. We've been working on this for more than a month or two.
Yeah. O's around. He's still, he's married, he's got a kid. Matter of fact, I'll probably reach out to him, because what we want to do, Sean, is we want to have all the notables on. I plan on having, I want Gino, I want Tim Schloss, Dan and John Colby, all the notables in the sport. I'm going to have Tommy. Tom, Tommy on, Tom Cole, excuse me, Tommy. And, we're just going to get all the people that are really, really working hard for the sport. And Neb, Mark Gong, and Mark Gong Jr. is going to be on. Absolutely. And Neb, by God, you should jump in with us. He's talking right now. You should send him a link and put him up here.
No, we don't want to do that. I've done it before. Yeah. It ends badly. Yeah. If you ask for it, Fred, I'll send him a link. 1 second. I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, I haven't even talked to him. I've talked to him online a few times, but it's always been, I met him because he was watching my show.
Right.
And he got a hold of Kathy Alvarez, and he's seen the picture of Kathy and I together,
right?
And he just asked her. He goes, "Do you know him?" And she said, "Yeah." And so Kathy got a hold of me, and she goes, "Would it be okay if he gets a hold of you, or you get a hold of him?" And I says, "Absolutely." I looked at his profile, and I seen the big smile, and I thought, "That's a cool guy. I got to check him out." So, Neb, you're cool, buddy. I don't care what Steve says.
I sent him a link. So
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Yeah. So the camera looks real good, by the way, too. I with the background colors and everything like that, it looks terrific.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, it's quiet time now.
So I guess he can't join us. I guess he's being quiet
that way.
That's okay. We don't want the COVID anyway.
Oh, well, Neb, very cool anyhow, buddy. You just stay in touch, huh?
Oh, I got a message here. What does it say? Hey, yeah, no, they're just having an issues. They got to keep everything quiet at the moment. So he's got to bow out. Coward.
Yeah, Neb's a pretty cool guy. I got to tell you, the people up in Canada, I started meeting the people up in Canada when I went to Twin Bud, Fred, Hugh. Wow, very cool. Sean's a cool guy, man.
He really is. He actually, I believe he drives truck for a living, but he is a gun tech and he is a coach.
Oh, really?
He's created his own gun tech similar to Bearded Works, but up here in Canada. And Bearded Work is Jake Superman. So Sean does, and I can't remember the name of his tech company. He's going to chime in and he's going to call me something condescending. I know it, and I deserve it because I keep forgetting what his company is called. But
very cool.
Yeah, but he's doing that, and he is. Oh, what's the name of the team he's coaching? But yeah, he's taken a really big interest in helping new players step up, and his tech company. And he'll quite often, if somebody's just really having a hard time with like an older Spider or something, and he's probably gonna get mad at me for telling everybody this, but he's been known to tech a gun for free here and there when he's trying to help kids out and stuff. And I can't say enough great things about Sean. So
yeah, well, see, that's the kind of guys. First of all, that's the kind of guys I like associating with,
right?
Because they help the sport. They help build the sport. Even now, the sport is where it is right now, but it still needs to keep building. You cannot stop building this sport if you want to pass it on to your kids to really be something, and so on and so forth. And, like I was saying earlier, I have so much respect for the players and the people up in Canada. I have a lot of friends around the world. There's no doubt. I have a lot of very, very good friends around the world. And England and France, I have a bunch of them. But Canada, when I went up the first time and I did the dome game up there.
Skyball.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I met some terrific people, and even the Booney Boys. It was a 5-man, and I even latched on to 5 of the Booney Boys, and we linked up with 5 CP players, and I took them all, and we went and did a tournament someplace. I can't even remember what
World Cup.
Is that what it was?
Yes, it was.
Great. It was a lot of fun, man. These guys came down. It was a new experience for them, and it was really, really cool. And yeah, we'll put Sandman on the show. That's Rob Walker. Sandman and I can't tell you, we go back a long, long ways. And, Facebook user. What's up, Steve and Mr. Fred? We're having
What's
a good
up?
time.
We've got a strong hold on things.
You must have stayed up all night to think of that. That's terrific. Absolutely. But yeah, I can't say enough about the guys up there and the old Booney boys. They came down and they were just a great bunch of guys. You know, it was a throw together team. Obviously, we always wanted to win. You know, I never went anywhere I didn't want to win, but it was not the number one priority for me. The number one priority was I liked these guys when I was up in Canada. I liked the way they treated me. I liked that they wanted to link up and five of them and five of us go to a World Cup and go play it. And so I flew them down there to do it. And obviously we didn't win, but we had a great, great time with a bunch of great people. And see, to me, that's paintball. You know, that's expanding the sport.
Yes.
So, and I even got to talk to Mr. McGuire. I did not even know that, but he chimed in and he told me that him and I talked when we were out there. And
we did.
Yeah. And man, I wish we had some pictures of us back then. That would have been cool.
I actually do have a picture somewhere. I've been trying to find it. Yeah, you're like this much taller than me.
I must have been standing on a box. But yeah, that's something that Steve and I met back in that time.
Yep.
And then now we're linked up back again together after all these years. You know, it's just it's amazing how things go around.
So there it is. So he does heavy haul flatbed trucking.
Sinister Tech Services.
Yes. And then he's been steadily coaching the A team for OPL, which is the Ontario Paintball League, the last few seasons.
Outstanding. See, like I say, that's the kind of people you want, man. You know, though I have nothing but respect for that kind of person that actually helps people promote the sport. Because, you know, Stevie, if you go someplace and you see somebody that's really big in the sport, any sport, I don't care what it is, and you walk up and they blow you off, you're not only thinking bad about that person, but, you know, the sport kind of went down a couple notches itself. Period. You know, it always been that way in my mind. You know, if I ever walk up to anybody and they blew me off, whatever they playing, I'm not really into that sport that much anymore. So, you know, that's why I always talk back in the day. Anybody could come up to me and talk to me. And I just talked to anybody. I absolutely loved it. And that was one of the biggest things of me playing paintball was the thousands upon thousands of people I got to meet and sit and talk with.
Oh, I love it. Like, I mean, I'm nowhere near as competitive as I was back then. Not that I was ever on a winning team, because I was always bouncing from team to team to team, just helping out where I could, just a paintball gypsy, if you will. And I had a great time. I'm not complaining even a little bit, but I've never seen a podium, right? Just because you can't win if you're on a team that is injured and stuff, unless miracles happen.
Right.
But just being able to socialize with everybody was great. And that was the thing about why I did this podcast, was because once I got back into paintball 2-3 years ago, I just missed this. I missed my sponsors. I missed talking to people. I missed road trips. I missed traveling. I just missed this. And so I wanted to bring it back, and I wanted to make sure everybody else got to enjoy it as well. And so in doing so, I found my home again. Like I came back home, and I love it. And
well, we're glad you did. I think you do really good at it. It was a strange thing because I'd been out of it for a lot of years. You know, I did instead of playing paintball, I was up gold dredging, you know. But anyhow, never seen the podium, but behind the pulpit, that's pretty good. But anyhow, you know, when I got back in, Keith Kissel and Freddie Valente, you know, I never even knew Freddie Valente. So we'll start there. It was Keith called me up and he goes, I'd like you to come in and just do a 15-minute podcast, you know. And I told him, I said, well, you know, people aren't going to care that I'm back. You know, I says, I'm yesterday's news. Nobody's going to care about that. And Keith is like, nah, you got to come and do it. He goes, will you do it for me? And I said, yeah. I said, I'll come in for 15 minutes and do it for you. Well, I came in, that 15 minutes turned into something like an hour and a half, which blew me away.
Right.
And then afterwards, Freddie and them came up to me and Keith, and they says, we got to get a show going. We had such a great response that people want to see you back on again. And that's basically how I got back into all of this again. And then obviously, John came out and interviewed me for the history of paintball. And
Right.
He came out. That was supposed to be like a 15, 20-minute interview. Oh, wow.
2 hours.
Yeah. Well,
And
it
then
was
some.
an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 30 minutes.
It felt like
Ferrari,
5.
Ian Ferrari just chimed in and said, we care, Fred. Ian, thank you very, very much. When people say something like that to you, after being out of the sport for so long, it just means so much. And, all my ex-sponsors, they all got a hold of me. Dan Colby, Danny, Dan Colby, Immortal Air, him and his son, John, they have the best system out there. And yeah, there you go. Yep, Steve and I both shoot it. Absolutely. If I'm going to push an air system, it'll definitely be Immortal Air. And not that the other systems suck, because I'm never going to say that, and I don't know about them. What I do know is the time, the effort, and the engineering that Danny and his son John put into their tanks and the regs. The regs are just absolutely
Well, they invented the regs.
incredible. Oh yeah, I go
Period.
back to when they did. I've been sponsored by them for 31 years.
Like, people can say everything that they want, but at the end of the day, everybody else is copying the Colbys. Period.
Absolutely right. Right is rain. So anyhow, yep, my hats are off to that. So enough of that commercial. But Dan and John, I can never ever thank you guys enough. And
you think that was a commercial? What? Check this out.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good. That is absolutely cool. Everybody out there, Steve put that together.
No, I had that put together, and I had a lot of creative input, but I had my man Lex graphics. That's actually a funny story. My man Lex from Lex Graphics make it for me. Yeah, and
what and I know the saying down below was yours.
Yes. Well, yes, the saying was mine. The idea was mine.
Just like the saying. I never take credit for anything I don't do, period. And Steve thought this up. Passion drives us. It is one of the coolest sayings, period.
Do you know what's funny about Lex Alford though, who did my graphics?
What's that?
I hooked up with him. We started doing stuff together. He lives 3 doors away from me. Met him online, talked to him online, got stuff for him, 3 houses away.
That's unreal. That's a good story. Very good story.
Okay, it was maybe more closer to 6 houses away, but literally, I could throw a tennis ball, it could bounce a few times and hit his house.
Well, I had to be next door then, because I know you can't throw them very far. So.
That's why I have markers. Cheers.
There you go. There you go. Right on. Well, Steve, I got to tell you, buddy, I appreciate so much you let me on your show tonight. And people, Ian, thank you very much for that. What you put up on screen, I thought that was extremely cool. And I am on Facebook. I also have a site. Is it okay to mention it?
Yeah, be my guest.
Yeah, it's called Flagpole, Pull Productions. And if you get a chance, jump on. Steve is also one of the guys that's on Flagpole right now. And Steve, if you want to watch this, I'm hoping Steve will share it the minute he's off here, so all my people can watch it. And also, I started sharing stuff with the old. Oh wow, you are so damn quick, man! You're the man. Steve's the man. And so I started sharing stuff now with the old school paintball players and stuff. Sean, how are you doing, buddy?
Not bad. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Yeah,
I just figured I'd send you an invite because we were talking about you so much. We figured let you talk for yourself.
Wow, so you do it quite a bit for the sport right now.
I wouldn't say quite a bit. I just do what I enjoy most. I've been working on guns, and I mean, this all started with firearms when I was younger, and it's gone off and on over the years with paint guns, and the paint guns have taken over in recent years.
Yeah, but every time you help somebody, or even if you charge them, a lot of people don't, even down here. Sometimes the marker goes bad on them, and they just don't know where to turn to get it fixed. So sometimes you lose weeks down here trying to get something fixed. So that's pretty cool that you do that for people.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's like I said, it's always going to be a hobby first for me.
Yeah, and Steve was saying you're a coach too, huh?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. How's your
He
team
called
looking?
you sir.
Hey, I've been paying attention to Fred's antics since I got into the sport. The first couple issues of APG there, I was buying back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yep.
There wasn't. I can't think of an issue where his name wasn't mentioned.
I appreciate that so much. I really, really do.
You're definitely a gentleman of history when it comes to this sport.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How's your team doing?
Well, the season's done. They did. They only did 2 out of the 5 events this year because of the COVID.
Yep.
But what I do, I coach D6, which is beginner division.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool.
To bring the new kids into the sport and mold them, give them the
Love it.
drill them, give them the drawing a brain fart tonight.
No, yeah, just the basics of how to get out and do it.
Yeah, the basic skills. Get their sets, get them in. Break down the rules and everything. And the team did great this year. We started with the 4th event out of the year, out of the 5 when they finally relieved our COVID conditions here.
Right.
The D6 team took first place.
Oh, right on.
Very
good.
With a new group of kids this year in first place. So you definitely can't complain with that. No,
not at all. And what's cool is you taking the time, especially a beginner team like that. Sometimes a guy can get into paintball and he can play for a couple of years and still not really be any good at it at all, just doing it for the enjoyment of it. But if they have somebody that just guides them just a little bit from the start, it seems like the learning process grows faster in a player. And see, that's something you did by taking on guys that are just beginning and teaching them.
Oh,
and plus,
sure.
they'll remember you forever. That you actually, no matter where they go, if they drop out of paintball or if they become stars in paintball, they're all going to remember what you did for them at the very beginning.
Yeah, I fixed their gun.
Yeah, well, and you showed them what was good and what wasn't on the field, and how to act off the field too. Sean, that's a big part of the sport, man. It really is. On the field's one thing, but teaching somebody the right and the wrong way, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I'm thankful we haven't had any huge egos when it's come to players that have come and gone in the.
That's my job. Or his job.
I was going to say, so you haven't had Steve on the team then?
It's his job. His job.
Hey, I tried to get him to come out there for the 10-man. I made a couple jokes there earlier in the summer when we were getting our team registered for the Ontario Classic, but. It is what it is. I'll drag Steve out one of these days, whether it's rec ball or tourney ball.
Oh, we're gonna hook up. Like we're gonna play. It's just been with everything that's been going on, like, and then I have my son every other weekend as well. And as much as I love paintball, I will drop paintball completely if my son needs me.
As you should.
Just family first.
Like nothing in this world makes me happier than paintball except my son. Yep. And everything else is,
like Sean said, family first. Very good way of putting it.
Yeah. So a lot of the players from the teams and that they all know me well. They know that's usually my key motto there: family first. If something comes up, sorry guys, you're either on your own for practice or whatever the case is. If something needs to be done, I've got my full-time job trucking when it comes to teching the guns and the gear and the tanks and all that. Sorry, sometimes something takes a couple weeks longer, and my job, my family comes first. It's that simple.
Absolutely. You gonna have the same team for next year now? You guys are you keeping them all together, or?
I believe we're gonna have right now, as long as nobody gets reclassed, we should have, I would say, 4 or 5 members returning from this limited season that we just did.
Got it. Now that's a 10-man team?
This is the 5-man OPL.
Oh, well, yeah. If you get 4 returning, that's pretty good.
Yeah, with the 10-man team I discussed, that's become more of a family of friends. I put the team together for nostalgia.
Very cool.
Went classic back here to Ontario last year. Great group of friends. We're out there to have fun more than the competition. Obviously, competition is part of it. We want to go out there, we want to win, but we're not looking to take the podium. The podium would be a bonus.
Right. That's like, I used to play for the Muffs. I don't know if you ever heard of the Muffs, but, it was like me, Bud Orr, and Tim Schloss from Tiger Stripe, and just a lot of, manufacturers. Yeah, there's the jersey right there. But anyhow, we were just a throw together team. Never practiced together. Never. Just would go to the tournament and play. We went to Mayhem and we beat everybody. And actually, we would have took first place, but we eliminated everybody in the finals. We eliminated everyone on the other team in 2 different games, but never pulled a flag. And then we missed it by points. I think we ended up like 4th or something like that. So, but and that's just, but the point being, is it's just a bunch of friends to get together. Bud Orr's my friend. Tim Schloss is my friend. We just all kinds of people that were not on teams, but just thrown together to have a good time. Plus, these guys drink a lot. but
the 10, there's no doubting that.
Wow. I am so glad that you came on tonight, because when you chimed in, first of all, you said some very gracious things. It was very cool. And then Steve was talking about you and saying some things that you did. So I'm very glad that you chimed in so we could talk a little bit.
Awesome.
I'm going to add somebody else to the stream. Wanted to show to Dan Morgan. He's got a bit of a podcast down in Texas. And he's actually a big fan of yours, Fred. And he's been asking you some questions in the comments. And I thought, well, let's just let him ask directly.
Dan, how are you doing, buddy?
Hang on. Sorry, guys. I just got home a few hours ago.
A few hours ago.
Yeah.
I only got home like
an
hour and a half ago, and I've been on this podcast for an hour. So no excuses.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty good looking wall you got behind you.
Oh yeah, thanks. It's they change out every couple of months or so. I'm a big autococker guy, so
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, while we got the chance, before we get into it, make sure you plug your YouTube channel. Do it. Do it.
All right, it's called Caught Right-Handed on YouTube. So I just do some tech stuff, some basic history. I'm trying to get it more like set up and stuff and going again. COVID really kind of screwed everything up with that, but I do some other little small jobs here and there.
Yeah, and you're actually going to school for this. So you're going to make all of us look like a bunch of punks.
Not at all.
Expertise. He's got more money in his lighting than I have in my whole setup.
I still screw up, though. That's the problem. But I do everything myself, just like everyone else. So.
Yeah. I'm going to have to check your show out, too. That's pretty cool. When are you on?
So it's YouTube, so I just make videos when I can.
Got it.
And I'm working at my friend's paintball field, trying to get it built up. Again, COVID kind of screwed everything up.
What's the name of his field? Give him a promo.
It's called Balls and Bruises. It's in Spring, Texas. I know some people are watching from that area. So
cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, you had some questions for Fred. You've got a Hall of Famer right here. No pressure.
I know, right? Oh man, I don't know. Where are you located at right now? I tuned in late.
I'm out in California.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I come on at on Tuesday evenings at 7:00 Pacific time, and then Steve was gracious enough to let me come on with him tonight. I beg him all the time, and he's like, "No, man, I don't have time for you." But tonight he let me on.
Right.
But yeah, I want to check out some of your stuff. We were talking to Sean over here. You know Sean?
Yeah, I've talked to him before.
Have you?
What's going on, man?
For you?
Yeah, and one thing I like about, that's why people like you are so good for this sport. You guys, Sean puts back in, he has a team that he coaches, works on guys' markers and stuff for him. You are out there promoting the sport. You're helping the field. See, that's what the whole thing needs. That's what I got back into this, is to start bringing people together to do a lot of this. And I got to tell you, I had a lot of fun when I started. It was a little harder then because, a lot of people didn't like paintball when I first started. So I had to do a ton of PR to get that.
Right. Yeah. I saw that in the.
Oh man, let me tell you,
history.
it was pretty interesting sometimes. But I'm so glad I got back into it now to meet guys like you guys. And you too, Steve. You're not bad. But
Steve. So I used to drive trucks too, and I was doing the same thing. I wasn't coaching, but all these guns back behind me, I was buying and taking that I would just sell to people that I knew were going to play. I didn't want to sell to someone that's going to harvest the parts off of it, resell everything. I didn't like that. When I built a Cocker or that Timmy, well, that one I won't sell, but say I had another Timmy and I sell it, or that Shocker, I want the person to play. I don't want them to take it and then see all those parts in a couple of days blown apart. So someone can come up to you. I've done this multiple times. Hey, I want to buy your gun. I won't sell it to them because I know what they're going to do. They're going to eBay it off. So, and I just like taking the guns, man. So it just comes to that.
That's very, very cool. Yep, that's very cool. Hey, if you get a chance, friend me too. I would like both of you guys to friend me so we could actually sit and talk. And Sean, I'd like to have you on my show some night also. I think it'd be great. What you do is terrific. In the same way with you, Dan. I'd like to have you on my show some night too. Maybe put you on with Bud Orr. You guys.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you'd like that?
Yeah, I like him. I've talked to him. So.
Oh yeah, Bud's he's a great guy actually. I was going to go to the World Cup next week, but although my mother's getting better, she did get the COVID, and so she is getting a little bit better. So I'm going to hang around here, but Steve's going to go and I guess take care of everything down there.
I'm rolling in hot with the Alder Remembered Foundation.
There you go. But maybe I could put you and Bud on some night if you'd like that.
Yeah, I'll try. So next week, I'm actually going to be going out to a Viper Scenarios event and cover that for PV Media.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do some work for them. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I mean, you said Tuesday. Well,
yeah, it can't be this Tuesday because I got some people from Hong Kong and some other people I'm putting on. But we could just get together and we'll link up somewhere here in the near future.
Yeah, no problem.
And put you on some night and put Sean on. I hate to push my show. Sorry about that, Steve.
No, push away. Please be my guest.
So, but
you succeed, I succeed.
Well, yeah, exactly. There you go. But that's the kind of guys I like having on. Guys that actually work for the sport and don't have their heads so far up that they'll never see daylight. Mm-hmm. They are the type of people that make the sport grow. And to me, that's what I love. Period. And like Bud loves Bud Orr. Excuse me.
Bud. We all know who Bud is.
Yeah, I know. But I say Danny, I say Tommy, because I've known all these guys for so long. It's just the first name type of thing. But yes, I'd like to put you guys on, and I'm very glad that you jumped in tonight, Dan. That's pretty cool, and Sean too. You guys, they've kind of made the show, huh, Steve?
No, you made the show, Fred. But these guys are definitely a great addition.
No. I wouldn't have nothing to talk about if these guys when they came on, and I would have never got to meet two really cool guys, and you would have never got to tell everybody that's watching us and is going to watch your show tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day how cool these guys are. Right? Yeah.
Well, that's true. But I brought Sean on just because Sean's awesome, and I brought Dan on because I was hoping that maybe you'd stop asking me technical questions and start bugging this guy down below instead.
No, don't we do that?
Why do you think I told him to get a hold of me on Facebook?
I know exactly why you did it. You guys are in deep trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Sean, where are you at? What state are?
I'm up in Canada. I'm at.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, he's on the other side of Toronto.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends in Texas. Texas Storm. You know any of the old Texas Storm guys?
No. I know the name and stuff. I've never met those guys before.
Yeah, Samman and I went and played, guested on their team a few times. Man, they were they were a great bunch of guys. I loved them. I really did.
They won a lot.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, I won with them. Yeah, I went down there. Yeah. So they were they're very, very gracious.
That's cool. Yeah, unfortunately, not a whole lot. I mean, of course, our big team, and granted, they're not really in Houston anymore, is the Heat guys. And I met them
Oh,
a
I think
few
we
times.
lost it. Oh, you got pretty quiet there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
And he's gone again.
Yep. Yeah, Houston Heat.
the most.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dan. You froze up again. Go ahead.
Damn computers. Houston Heat. That'd be probably the most latest pro team that I've ran into. But that was a while back, and they used to play at the field that I played at. So.
Yeah, there was a couple fields down there that I used to go down there because I did a lot of charity work. Actually, that's what really got me started in paintball, notable in paintball. Randy Camilla seen me going to do these Ronald McDonald House things, and that's where I actually got my first cover shot. I never even knew who the heck he was. He just came up to me and he goes, "Wow," he says, "Who's your sponsor?" And I go, "Sponsor for what?" And he goes, "Well, I've seen you at 3 different events here." He goes, "Who flies you around?" I go, "Oh, I just fly myself around. That's not a big deal, you know." And so anyhow, that's
maybe not for you.
Yeah. And so to make a long story short, that's how I got my first cover shot. I was at a charity event. So in Texas, there was a girl down there that had a field, and some other guy, I can't remember the name of the field or the people anymore. But I would fly down there and do their charity events. And then when I couldn't go down there, I would send them barrels and markers and paint and all kinds of things to give it away. So I can honestly say that everybody that I've ever met in Texas has been nothing but great. You know, I go down there and I talk to these people for a half hour and I'd feel like I've known them forever. You know, it's just,
that's how we are.
And they have biscuits and gravy down there, like it's a religion.
Yeah, and real barbecue too, right?
Exactly.
Come on down, man.
Oh, you got Steve drooling now, man.
Yeah, we talk about food a lot. But.
So Fred, because these two guys like cool stuff.
They are cool.
Most of us don't know that there was actually a Fred Schultz Signature Series barrel. And most people haven't seen the logos. So I bet these two would absolutely love for you to show off a little bit more.
I'll see if
Go for it.
He's usually got it right beside the desk.
Yeah.
Those mags that he has are pretty badass.
Yeah, right? Yeah, they are. This one right here, Dan. Tom K made me. This is his number 13 mag. And then Dan Colby, this is the number 1 Fred Schultz air system. This gun has never been aired up or fired.
Oh my God.
Which is just sad.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Sad to you. I had enough of them. Believe me, I had many mags. And
no wall hangers.
Yeah. These barrels were made by J&J. I don't know if you guys ever heard J&J barrels. These guys were made by J&J.
But do you see the logo? That actually has an FS with Fred Schultz underneath. It kind of looks like a palm tree. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And this was a shark stock. This was it was an official Fred gear.
Nice.
At the OFG, and then this is a shark stock right here that I had. So I had all different kinds of stuff that I'd put out in a day, but the problem was for me is after I started putting it out, I had everybody and their brother wanted to do it. Let me do it, you know, and they were all friends of mine. So if I would have let one of them make my stuff, then I would have had trouble. The only person I let really make anything was Tim Schloss, Tiger Stripe Camouflage. Obviously this jacket right here. But he made the OFG stuff, and that's because he was the only clothing maker that I knew. So there really wasn't any conflict of interest. So it got to a point where I just J&J made my barrels. I started with Smart Parts. I was with Smart Parts for quite a few years, actually. And then that's when I dropped out of Smart Parts and went to J&J. Not that there was anything wrong with Smart Parts. It was all a business deal that I just I just wanted to move on, and that's how I did it. So, but Dan, you probably got all kinds of old stuff, from the days. Some of the markers and stuff that you work on.
Yeah, the I guess the glory years is what everyone says, from like early 2000 to 2010.
See, I disagree with that. I mean, I know people call that the glory years, but for me, the glory years was 95 to 99. The minute electronics came out, everything switched.
And for me, it was 85 to 95.
It's all the years that you got into it. If you got in, I got into it in 97. I started playing. So that time period's the glory years for me. Just like Steve, and I'm sure Sean. So whatever time you got into it.
Well, yeah, but I started in 89, but the pump guns drove me nuts. It was once I got into electros, or not electros, once I got into semis, specifically the autococker came out, we started getting it going. That was great. And then when electros started coming out, it just, I don't know, it shifted everything.
Sean, when did you start?
Yeah, Sean, when did you start?
When did you start playing?
89. I started out of, oh God. I think the first paint gun I ever had was rental Stingray out of Ontario Paintball Supply. If anybody, well, Steve might remember the name if he's been in long enough.
I remember.
I'm sure some boys would.
Yeah, I remember Ontario Paintball Supply.
I'm not Canadian, so I don't know.
But up here in the late 80s, almost all of us shot Brass Eagle.
Oh, yeah.
And back then, Brass Eagle was brass. Well, it was metal, but...
That's the marker that I played my very first tournament with right there. As a Bushmaster, I was sponsored by Ross Alexander, Line SI. And this was this Quicksilver. Glenn Palmer and I are very good friends. Glenn invented this because, this is one of the first ones. Glenn was actually building these in his garage before he actually opened up his factory. And I'd go up there and we'd sit in his garage and he'd be talking about this and that, and this is going to be cool and that's going to be cool. And just went over my head, But whenever something cool came out, I would get it and I'd put it on. And I took this, and I got to tell you, we went and we played the Lords of Discipline in Lively's tournament. I believe it was in 90 or something, like 89 or 90. And that just changed the whole game for me, having that. And then after a while, then you go to the 6-pack, which Steve laughs. I got a 6-pack I've never, ever used. But
he's got it attached to a Brass Eagle Tiger Shark of all things. Like, the gun is worth $10, and the 6-pack is worth like hundreds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that,
like, somebody, I'm talking to Weasel, and I'm going to make sure that he gives you a slap next time he sees you.
Glenn always talks about that 6-pack. If you ever talk to him, or just start talking about old school stuff.
Oh yeah,
he just plugs it into his conversation like nothing. Like, man. So
yeah, Glenn's a good guy. I mean, like I say, I've known Glenn when he first started, and he would work out of his garage, and I'd go up there on the weekends because I was busy during the week. So on the weekends, I'd go up there and I'd hang out with him and stuff like that. And he was always tinkering with something, and some of the ideas he came up with were great. And then we'd put them on his marker, my marker, and we'd go over to Paintball Sam's and play a little bit, him, me, and Michael Beard and Rick Zandeas and Bob Long. We'd all go out there and bang away, man, at Paintball Sam's. So I have to say that Glenn is an innovator in a lot of things. That I'm trying to think of how to put this. A lot of things that he really did not get credit for. He really, really did. And Glenn's a good guy. He really.
My favorite story about Glenn Palmer is the grinder, because there was that whole firepower superiority thing. And so he created the 3 KP3 rifles with the giant hopper on top that fed them all. And then he had a
Still got it.
I'm sure he still does,
Yeah.
but he's got that had the wine grinder, and he filled the whole thing up. And I believe it was the fastest elimination in 10-man, or like the fastest win in 10-man in the history of 10-man, because he just went upside, nobody could keep up. He just like ground everything to the ground everybody in.
He showed up one day. We go out to play in a big game, and he shows up and he's got a scuba tank on his back. That was his air supply, was a scuba tank, and he had a double rifle. It was just amazing, some of the stuff he had. I couldn't even lift the amount of balls he had in that damn hopper. It looked like a big barrel up there, taking care of 3 markers at once. So.
Yeah, and then they had to change the rules, so you're only allowed to have 1 barrel and whatnot. So he was specifically responsible for the fastest destruction of another team, and then the changing of the rules, because it was like no more of that. That's my all-time favorite Glenn Palmer story.
Yeah, it was like a paintball blizzard. You know what I mean? They just rained on you.
That's funny. Yeah, he's come up with some God, he's constantly showing me stuff all the time. He'll just be like, "This is what I have," and I'm like, why do you come up with this? Like, no one's thinking of this, and he just is like, "Okay, here you go." So, but
yeah, you did. He's a good guy. Like I say, we've been friends for 30 some years, and what's this? I remember my first 15-man battle royal. Yeah, well, when I first started playing paintball, that's what the team games were, 15-man. Period.
Our rec balls. When I first started, when the main field I would go to, our rec ball games were like 50 on 50. Yeah. And now we have so many fields in the Houston area; it's way different. But yeah, you would go in, and you couldn't move right off the break. You're hit. And you just kind of keep on going. I mean, it was like, just wipe off and go. But you're going to get hit again. I mean, it was crazy the amount of people. And we would have, not a speedball. It was a rec ball field, so it was a little bit bigger. But, yeah, I mean, nowadays, it's hard to get 3-on-3 games going in some areas. So,
yeah. We lost.
Yep.
Oh, well. He'll jump back on if he needs to.
He was glitching really bad side. Yeah,
I've seen that. So, well, right on, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night too.
Yeah, this is probably the good time to close down the whole show, to be honest.
Yeah, Dan, I am so glad I got to meet you. Do me a favor. Get a hold of me. Flagpole Productions is my site online and Facebook, and friend me. I'll definitely accept you in a second. I'd like to not only right on.
There you go.
I'd like to talk to you in the future and maybe have you on.
For sure. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming in tonight and being on.
Thanks, Steve, for allowing me to come in.
Steve's a good guy. I don't care what.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Right on. Dan, it was very good. Good seeing you tonight. Very good meeting you.
All right, Dan. Talk to you later.
That was pretty cool, Stevie. Dan's a good guy. Sean's a good guy.
Yeah, man, I talk to those guys on a regular basis. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
said you had some great guys on there tonight.
Especially you.
Cool. I wouldn't go that far. I think that those guys interested me. They really did.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just interested in new people that are cool and good for the sport. And both of those guys are great. Everybody out there, Sean and Dan, these guys are working hard for you. So,
well, Andy on the Ali Remembered Foundation says to call me the bird dog, because I go out, I find all these cool people and whatnot, and I bring them back in. And so he tends to nickname me bird dog every now and then. So
that's funny. When he told me, he left the bird part off, but he just now, Steve, I can't thank you enough for letting me come on your show tonight.
Make sure you say hello to Bill Bailey. He's in Facebook jail. He's been talking a lot lately. Most of that Facebook.
My brother. So's my brother right now.
Yeah, so Bill's not allowed to go on live, and he's not allowed to, I forget what he's allowed to do. So he can watch, but he can't actually post, so we can't actually see who he is.
Bill, William Bailey is one of my new friends. I'll say, the Mr. Fred and Friends was for the old friends and the new friends. And I cannot tell you how much I think of that guy right now. He is just an absolutely terrific person. William, buddy, you stay safe, and I think they'll only keep you on for a few days, and then you'll be back out again. But you just stay safe. And I thank Steve so much for letting me have the time to come on tonight and telling me that you're in Facebook jail. Yeah, it's me. Right on, brother. I can't say enough good things about William Bailey. William is on my show every Tuesday, hopefully next Tuesday. We'll see. Here we go. Damn phone, not meant for podcast. Sean, I got to tell you, buddy, we appreciate very much you jumping in. I think Steve, 30 days. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll do something without you for sure. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But Sean, thank you so much for coming on. Steve, thank you so much for bringing me on and introducing me to these two guys. Because, you know, that's what I like to do is meet people. That's all there is to it. And these were some great, great people. So anyhow, I'm going to leave you end your show. But for everybody out there, thank you so much for putting up with me tonight. I know Steve's good, and you guys like watching him. And wow, thank you very much, Sean. And much respect back to you, believe it or not. I respect the heck right out of you, buddy. You and Dan both. And Steve knows I respect him, but I won't tell him that. So anyhow, from Fred Schultz out there, please play hard, play safe, play fair, but go play paintball and watch Steve's show. Right on, Steve.
Hey, and make sure you check him out on Mr. Fred and Friends. And please tell him that you like my name for his show better.
There you go. There you go. Right on.
We'll get him updated.
All right, man. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye now.
Good night, Fred. All right, everybody. That's my show for the night. I hope you all enjoyed one of my classics, Fake It Till You Make It. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up. And I try to talk with you all as much as I can. Please leave comments on what you like or don't like about the new camera angles, because I'm learning. In the meantime, to be honest, I got to go to the can. So talk to y'all later. Keep your paint dry and play with passion, everybody. Talk to y'all soon. Ciao.